All right, this is a late episode of this podcast because I don't know what happened. I usually record these Tuesdays, Wednesdays for a post on Thursday, and I had recorded an episode, which actually, when I look back at it, I think kind of sucked anyway. Then I scheduled for the post to go Thursdays because that's when I want to release this. So anyway, here we are. After I discovered it, just didn't have time to go back and re-record it. Just a lot going on with my actual day job. So if you're listening to this, no, I don't in fact do this full time, but I dedicate a lot of my time outside of my day job as a consultant to grow this channel, research, provide any education. I'm trying to expand stuff on Instagram. So if you don't follow me there on Instagram, it's at West J Henderson, WESJHENDERSON. Super into thermogenesis right now, so I've been posting stuff like that. Updates this week for me is I built out a home gym. I did not know when I moved to Austin that Fringe Sport is located here, which is super awesome because I can just go to their warehouse and pick stuff out. I personally hate waiting for things. I think Amazon Prime has ruined everybody in terms of waiting more than 2 or 3 days. And then another thing I did was I bought, today, during lunch, quickly I ran to this appliance store. I saw it for sale, bought I think it's like 15.8 cubic feet deep freezer. Bought some Gorilla Glue sealant. You can get up there. Go ahead. You want to get up there? Dog makes an appearance if you're watching this instead of listening. All right, stop it. Yeah, you can sit there. Anyway, deep freezers aren't made to hold that much water, so there's some areas you got to fill in. So got some like the Gorilla Glue sealant that is currently curing, but I'm just obsessed with thermogenesis. We'll talk briefly on it because I'm still researching, and I'm going to be doing a series of videos of how to not so much here. Actually, if you are watching, I've got a quick full screen. I don't want to stay on here just because I'm wearing shorts, but she's going to be sitting there sometimes. And there's a chair. So, sorry. We'll finish the thought on thermogenesis. But there's a lot of ways you can, I wouldn't say so much manipulate your body, but as far as adapt your body to recover faster by keeping your body temperature cool when you need it, heating up your body at the end of the day, something called the warm bath effect to help you fall asleep faster. I started going this rabbit hole with the 8 sleep. If you haven't seen my review on that, please do. I am sleeping like an absolute rock at night. It's amazing how when your body temperature is right, because a lot of the movement, I guess, that I do at night as far as covers on, covers off, sheet on, sheet off, sticking a foot out, sticking an arm out, a lot of this is being explained by the research I'm doing as far as how heat is transferred in and out of your body. Like there's a reason why you naturally stick your feet out or to get cool in bed, or when you go up to a fire, you put your hands out and then you allow the heat to go through your palms and hit your face and you feel better. So step 1 into this realm of thermogenesis has been the 8 sleep. We can just talk on it now. 8 Sleep had reached out to me asking if I would take a look at their product. And the way I like to do this is sometimes, like I knew what the 8 Sleep was. I had heard about it. I heard like elite athletes speak on it. It's been talked about on Rogan recently, just numerous times. Matt Frazier had recently talked about it on his, saying like he just can't sleep without it. Producer Young Jamie on Rogan talks about it all the time and brings it up all the time. And so 8 Sleep reached out, and I did get the product for free, just be super transparent, in order to review and do it. And they're like, hey, we'll set up you like an affiliate partnership. I said, hold on. This is how all my conversations go with companies. I don't know if this, like, I'll do a review on your products. Like, I'm super thankful, super grateful that I've grown to the channel to a point where people are reaching out and sending me products. However, as far as like any sort of partnerships, me pushing your products, I don't work that way. I just won't ever work that way. I've said it numerous times on this podcast, made posts about it. Step 1 is I receive your product. I use it for an extensive period. I do a bunch of research on it. And then from that point forward, if this is something that I know I'm going to preach and actually want people to use, not for any monetary reason that I have or monetary interest I have, but I genuinely think people's lives are going to be better using this product, then okay, let's set up some sort of affiliate partnership. And when you do that, there's nothing that 8 Sleep tells me to say. There's nothing that I do outwardly because they ask me to do it. I independently work. I'm an independent contractor in terms of our relationship. It's just, if I bring it up, it's coming from me, solely me, no words anywhere. The review, solely me, a third-party research that I did to include in there, just how it works. There's other products that I receive that set up affiliate stuff, and it's like, hey, love your products. I'm going to use your products, but I don't think it's necessary for the masses. So I don't set up an affiliate, and there's a bunch of examples like that on the channel that I won't bore you with the details. But 8 Sleep was that entry into this thermogenesis realm. Then I started listening to a just incredible intellectual Dr. Andrew Huberman, head of the Huberman Lab at Stanford, head of neuroscience and ophthalmology there. So a lot of his stuff is brain development and eye use, but he also works a lot in like the human performance realm. And he also references Dr. Andy Galpin, who is someone I also follow. So those are two people I've mentioned before on Instagram accounts to follow. Dr. Andrew Huberman, so it's at Huberman Lab, and you can add Dr. Andy Galpin to that list as well, as far as the insane amount of free education out there. And I highly recommend listening to this episode on the Huberman Lab podcast, where he goes into increasing sports performance, because a lot of it, I post on my Instagram stories. We think about a lot of the things that we want to put in our body as far as like supplementation to increase our performance level, but we never think about what we can do to the outside of our body to increase performance level, because a lot of times when we are doing some sort of athletic endeavor, like I am someone who loves doing CrossFit. I'll do it outside and it's hot and humid here in Austin. I fail not because I have the physical potential to go faster in a workout or lift more weight. It's because my body is just too damn hot. And it's about keeping it cool and learning ways that you can keep your body temperature cool to increase your performance. So that's stuff that you do on the outside of the body. And it's just simple things, cold water, immersion, stuff like that. So I'm going to be experimenting a lot of stuff with not only ice baths in the morning and building up lower temperature, like starting in the 50 to 60 degree range, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. You don't want to go any more than 15, and then lowering and figuring out, I want to see things on my Whoop as far as increased HRV, better recovery, perceived recovery. That's also important, not just the objective evidence that we get from metrics from things like the Whoop strap or your Apple, whatever you are using, but also our perception, because even if it is a placebo effect, it's still something that's powerful and can help you increase your performance. But also because one of the reasons I wanted to build out my home gym and invest in it, my CrossFit gym here in Austin is not cheap. The reason I go to it is because when I asked what gym to go to, 100% of the people that actually had input said CrossFit Central downtown Austin. Incredible gym. Go there every day. I'm still going to continue to go there primarily for my workouts, but there's a lot of stuff. There's a few reasons why I wanted to have the home gym, and shout out to Fringe Sport again I paid for it. There was no like special discount or anything. Like, you will get the same treatment that I got if you go there or if you go online and you speak to one of the representatives. Super incredible service. Everything was great. Everything I got was great. Maybe I'll talk more about like the different things I plan on building out and the different parts of my gym that I currently have, or just follow my Instagram. It's going to be on there as I'm working on stuff. But the 3 reasons I did it was, 1, I don't like filming at the gym a lot of times. It's kind of embarrassing to do stuff and people are kind of looking at you. What are you doing? Maybe sparks up a conversation, gets distracted. So So when I want to test products, like I wish I would have had it for the Nike Metcons. I could have done even further breakdown and analysis, got more B-roll for it. I can just do it in my gym now. It's version 1.0 of what I'm calling the Henderson Lab. And number 2, I'm going to experiment with performance, like I said. So the cold tub is going to be, number 1, used for ice baths. Number 2, for utilizing cold water immersion of my hands in between doing sets. And why would I do that? I will go into in a future video. So stay tuned to that, and then I can talk about it more on a future episode of the podcast. And then number 3, work on weaknesses. I suck with overhead movements. I have terrible shoulder mobility. I can clean 315 pounds. If I go anywhere close to 225 on a snatch, I am all over the place. It's just, it doesn't feel right. I know I have issues. I use things like GoWOD or different shoulder mobility stretches. Dr. Aaron Horschig and Squat University has been posting a series of overhead stuff, which I've thoroughly enjoyed. I'm going to be using it. I may get his book, Rebuilding Milo, to find some more mobility things in that. But we all have stuff to work on. When I suck at something, it drives me crazy. Like, I want to be good at it. So, like, improving my... And it's not so much my snatch in general. Like, I can hit probably 245 on a power snatch, but when I drop down into a squat, that's when I really struggle. And then there's compensation in my back to try to get my shoulders back and my arms overhead, and that's where I start to fail. So I can start feeling comfortable. I don't know, like even like 155 pounds on a snatch is a super bad struggle for me. So just working on things I suck at. So there's a bunch of reasons. I think it's going to add a lot of value to my videos, and I'm super excited about that. And this is just the beginning. I know this is going to be a slippery slope, but again, it's there. Like my gym's closed on Sunday, so that I can get a workout there, and just going to continue just build it out. And it's going to also give me entry into some other products that I think are going to be important. There's a bar that I was actually, right before I started recording this, I was trying to find the name of it, and I gotta look. I thought it was by Kabuki Strength. It looks like a barbell, but it's got 2 like tan sides with like different segments that you actually put weights on for balance. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I mean, I don't know what it is either. I thought it was Kabuki, but I was on their website and I didn't see it. Aaron posted on Squat University quite a bit, so maybe I'll reach out to him and see if I can get him to tell me what it is. But there's going to be different products and a whole bunch of different things I can add to review on the channel. So I'm super excited about that. Just another room, kind of like it's a workout studio, workout film studio. It's great. So that's been going on too. So it's been a real busy week, but I'm settling into Austin. I love this city so much. It's just got a great vibe. I spent a lot of weekends going to Zilker Park, and this place has to be the paddleboard capital of the world. I love paddleboarding, and being in South Florida, there's plenty of waterways and everything for people to go into. I have never seen such a congregation of paddleboarders in my life. There are hundreds, if not over 1,000 paddleboarders at any given time on the Colorado River or any of the different inlets around Zilker and Town Lake or Lady Bird Lake, whatever you want to call it. And it's amazing. I love it. I love people out. The difference that I see with like South Florida, people are out and they're doing stuff, but it costs a lot of money. It's all about flash and all this stuff. That's just the perception that I got. And I think it's a pretty valid perception based on a lot of things and depictions that you see on TV or documentaries or whatever about Miami and South Florida in general. Here, people are out doing things, but it's generally just outside, going to the park. I see a lot of people playing Frisbee and just it's being active. Like, this has to be, in my opinion, one of the most active cities and fittest cities that I've personally seen. Now, it could be just the people that I've been associating myself with, but I don't think so. I've heard it on other podcasts. Like, I was listening to Your Mom's House, the Tom Segura and Christina P. podcast. Tom Segura is my favorite comedian, and his wife is hilarious as well. They have an amazing podcast. If you want to laugh, it comes out every Wednesday. Just go check that out. But actually, in their new episode, because they had recently moved from LA to Austin, they were talking about all the fit shirtless guys around, and I am 100% guilty of being one of those guys. When I go to Zilker, shirt immediately. Anytime I work out, shirt immediately comes off. I'm like allergic to cotton or whatever. It's just I sweat a lot, but that's how I felt in the city. And then on top of that, the barbecue. I actually created recently. I don't even know if I should be saying this because I don't fully understand what it's going to be. A Instagram account called Barbells and Barbecue. I created a design that I really like. It's got an American flag. It's super simple. I want it to be something because it's two things I love. I love barbells and barbecue. And surprisingly, South Florida has no good barbecue. It's barbecue season, 365 days a year, and no one knows how to barbecue down there, and it was depressing. That was what initiated me getting a Traeger grill before and experimenting and learning how to cook a good brisket. Now I'm in Austin. When I was in South Florida, my brisket was incredible. Tasted amazing. People loved it. People asked me to make it, and I would make it every chance I got. Now that I'm in Austin, my brisket's shit. Like, compared to what's going on here, Terry Black's, Franklin's, La Barbecue, it's not even close to comparison. It's insane. So that's going to be a project. I don't have enough time in the day. There's a lot of things I need to focus on in this channel. I've had people reach out saying I should expand and like do more stuff on like Instagram, do Instagram Live, share a lot of information there. Maybe I'll start Instagram living the podcast as I'm recording for people to tune in. It's my own little thing, but I want to share it, and I love the feedback I get from people. I've said before, the comments kind of suck sometimes, but in there's a lot of good nuggets of information, improvements, and it's a great group that I'm seeing reaching out and following, and I appreciate every single one of you, good or bad, when it comes to it, because I do, like, even the bad comments, I can take a little bit from there. So that's enough of that. Let's move on to the subject of the Olympics, which I watched starting yesterday with the sculls. I love the peak of human performance, and there's no better stage for it than the Olympics. People have sponsors. The athletes have sponsors. I totally get that. But when it comes to the Olympics, and I was listening to, like, recently won the Open, Colin Morikawa talk about it, is, he's a 24-year-old golfer. I believe he's 24. He's super young. All of these sponsors are going to be after him because, like, his brand is just going to continue to grow. I think he's got a great swagger about him, like similar to what I think like a young Tiger is or was. But he was super excited about the possibility of going after a gold medal in the Olympics and represent his country, the United States. And that's what I love about this. It's the ultimate drive for people to get that gold medal. It happens every 4 years. In this case, this is the 5th year because COVID, whatever. And on top of that, everyone with their training camps and products that they use are all about getting that extra edge. Like in running, a millisecond is a millisecond. So what can we do? Can we change the clothing? Can we change the shoes? Can we what on me can help me achieve just a little better? Like Olympic liftings this weekend, which I'm super excited about. The guy Lasha, Jesus Christ. If you haven't seen this guy lift, it's incredible. Like, he's just muscle snatching 150 kilograms. Like, it's insane. His strength. He's got beautiful form. But like what I pay attention to on him is like, what is he using? Like, what belt is he using? Why is he using that belt? Could be no reason. Could just be like, hey, you know what? This is just someone that reached out and I got a free belt or sponsor. Or the shoes. Like, I've already seen a lot of warm-ups of these athletes. Nike. The Romaleos are incredible. They're an incredible shoe. I'm thinking about getting a pair and seeing if I can review them against the Do Wins, which I believe is Rogue Fitness brand, because those are the ones I have. Because my initial way that I was looking at it, I was like, okay, these are good enough. But what's what's better than good enough? What's going to get me to that next level? And then you start thinking, like, at a certain point, when does the product become aiding too much versus your actual physical fitness? So that's what I look at when I'm watching the Olympics. I want to know and hear their backstory, research, see if I can find online what was their recovery regimen, what was their diet like, did they use anything. I've already seen a lot of these athletes using Whoop for recovery and analysis, and that's what I'm gonna geek out on. And as I try to uncover different things, I want to share it, hopefully do a podcast more on the Olympics. Number one, root for USA, but number two, I want to see what athletes are using and how I can use what they do at that such elite top level that I can adapt to and use in my everyday life as an average-ish kind of fitness guru or fitness enthusiast. That's a better word, not guru, fitness enthusiast. I know a big one that's going to be there is, and I'd bet money on it, are the Nike Alpha Flies. I'm like actually staring at them. They're right to the right of the camera. I don't want to get up because I'm wearing shorts, and this is a weird angle. So, but I mean, I think the Nike Alpha Fly right now it's the state of the. You ever think about that phrase, state of the art? Like the art being whatever product you're thinking of or whatever lane of achievement that you're thinking of. It is the art. Like in terms of art that's running, it is the state. What is the, we listen to, like the president comes out and does here's the state of the union. The state of the current art of running shoes is the Nike Alpha Fly Next Percent being the apex. They're the top. There's nothing that's proven in trials. Even the Vaporfly Next Percents. There was that New York Times article, if you watch my video on the review of the Alpha Flies that I go over, where it was 4% better. It was like 3 to 4% better of the runners in the New York Marathon using the Vaporflies over the Alpha Flies. That's incredible. Like, they wanted to become the king of running again with their Breaking 2 project to get Eliud Kipchoge to do it. Now there's an asterisk because he used a pacer car with a laser line. He was using shoes that weren't available to the masses. Well, the shoes are available to the masses now. The Nike Alpha Fly Next Percent is an approved shoe that you're going to see at the Olympics. And I wonder, so this is what I wonder about like sponsorships and stuff. When I had posted an Instagram poll and I posted on YouTube, a lot of feedback. I think I had like 300 responses total. And the question was, does an athlete or public figure endorsement entice you whether or not to buy a product? And it was overwhelmingly no. They don't. And I was very surprised by that because a lot of these companies spend a ton of money getting some of these people to represent them and their products. One example I don't understand is the Hyperice Hypervolt. It was the first massage gun I bought because I saw a lot of athletes buy it. And it's not cheap. I think it's like $250. But I want a massage gun. I love the massage gun. Not that specific massage gun because, I'm going to talk about it now. I just love massage guns in general. Then I start this channel. I'm going more into products, what makes a product, trying to research patents, clinical trials, anything about the Hyperice Hypervolt. Can't find anything. It's well built. I'll admit that. It's a good massage gun. But it's not worth the $250 price tag, in my opinion. And then I used the Theragun, did some clinical research on that, or read clinical research. I did not do the research. I want to be clear about that. Read the intellectual property, did a video on that. That makes sense. Same price as the Hyperice Hypervolt, actually has some reason behind it. So then I see these athletes, big names, don't want to call any on the top of my head because I don't know their current relationship with Hyperice. endorsing the Hyperice Hypervolt. And I'm thinking, why? Like, what is it about this gun besides getting a paycheck that you love? The form factor? I don't think so. Like, you can go online onto Amazon and find the same form factor. There's nothing proprietary about the use of it, how it looks, the reason why it looks that way. There were massage guns before it, the Theragun being considered the first massage gun. And it's just a head scratcher. So at this point, when you're going to something like the Olympics and you have a sponsor, yeah, you're getting paid, but is it going to drive you, or do you have the ability to swap? Like, let's talk about professional marathon runners or endurance runners or whatever you want to call them. And out there's check marks. The Nike brand, you're going to see Eliud Kipchoge. Actually, maybe you see him. I don't know. Actually, don't. Let me look real quick, not to get too distracted. Eliud Kipchoge Olympics 2021. Yeah, okay. So he's definitely going to be in the Olympics. And you know damn well what's going to be on his feet is a Nike check mark. But there's other brands. There's Brooks, there's Asics, there's Adidas. So when you're trimming minutes or even milliseconds off your mile pace and you got to run 26.2 miles, are you like, okay, I'm married to this brand? I mean, that's going to fascinate me. It's proven over and over. Like this is the shoe. Like, can you just swap over for this event? And then if people see that and they're like, hey, I thought you were a Asics athlete, but I see you got Nikes on. Like, what's the deal? That's what like, I mean, there's money and then there's a gold medal. Like, what's going to last long term? I guess it's all about importance. Like, I'm like, if you're a runner and you're sitting there or standing on the podium and you got second place by, marathon, you lost to Eliud by 2 minutes and you're wearing Asics or you're wearing Adidas, whatever. I don't want to keep picking on Asics. It just keeps coming to my mind. Should you have worn the check mark? I don't know. That's one of the fascinating questions I have, and I would love to know that answer. But I think that's also a very specific instance, because for the most part, a lot of these sports don't allow for full-time employment to be like, this is my job. There are certain people that get sponsored, and you're going to see them get the gold medals, or they're going to podium at the very minimum, and you're going to know who they are because all these brands show who they are. Like in the Olympic lifting, CJ Cummings is this young guy, just incredible form. Super excited to watch him. Smaller lifter, but I mean, that doesn't mean anything. He's strong as hell. Like I'm sure I've got height on him and I've got size on him, but he's so strong. And he's got 2 Pood weightlifting belts. That's what I use. He's got all these great sponsors. You're going to know who he is. I know who he is. I just told you who he is. Eliud Kipchoge, you just talked about, Nike athlete. You're going to know who he is. But then there's things like fencing, or like even the sculls I was watching, and I was trying to pay attention to what the brands that they were wearing were. Like how much of the clothing or anything it reduces drag as the rower or the rowboat is going up the river. So it's just the big time athletes that I guess is going to be the question. And in that sense too, I'm sure Nike has got all the runners. I mean, God, they're just so dominant. They're R&D and they're just. But I'm still going to be looking out for it. I want to know about the recovery and everything of all these athletes, and if there's anything that I can learn to share. Because better recovery, no cost recovery, better products, that's all about what this channel and what this podcast is about. Now, in the corrupted version of this podcast, I didn't talk about anything like in the first part of this. I actually was originally talking about like the favorite products that in this first half of the year. I know it's the 7th month. Could have done this at the very beginning of the month. Just the best products that I've used so far this year that I've been able to either purchase myself, had companies send me, and then I reviewed, and ones that I genuinely believe that I use still every day would be good for people to use. Maybe I'll save that one. End of year, I'm going to do a more formal like review video, not so much a podcast. I'll talk more about the review on the podcast, but it'll mostly just be on that review side of things, so I can go more and give a little more respect to those products. I guess I can briefly mention, number one for me is going to be the 8 Sleep. Just talked about it earlier. It's just super fascinating how it's changed my sleep habits, and I'm really worried now that when I go somewhere else and have to use a bed, I'm not going to have it. Like, I'm already thinking, how big of a pain in the ass would it be to fly with that thing? It would be awful. It would be pretty awful. It's got like the sides water container that actually removes the heat and keeps it cool, and the mattress it's just not going to work. So, but God, it's just watching the effective, like how my sleep performance has changed in terms of the awake phase is been incredible. And it's gotta be the cooling. Nothing's changed in my sleep habits except that. I've actually developed some bad sleep habits as far as not reading before bed like I used to, which is I'm going to start back up. It's just I haven't really found. The last book I read was Code Breakers, talking about Jennifer Doudna of CRISPR or The Code Breaker. Great book. I just haven't had anything really catch my eye as of late. I've actually instead I've been reading medical research journals, again, thermogenesis. So I'm just trying to compile all that together to give me like a good regimen to share in the video. So next video is going to be the Gatorade sweat patch, and then after that's going to be about ice baths, when to use it, when don't to use it. So stay tuned to that. It's going to be super valuable because I've just been eye-opening a lot of this stuff. But yeah, the cooling in bed is just, I can't explain how great it is. Now, this is going to sound like a paid ad, which it is not by any means, but when I spoke about like the affiliation stuff, I have affiliated myself with 8 Sleep. There is a discount code, WES, W-E-S, for $100 off. There is a link in the description of this and the show notes of the podcast, and that's just to support the channel. Use it, don't use it, that's fine. I would prefer you to use it to support the channel. If you do choose to buy either the mattress or the Pod Pro cover, there's no difference between the use of either one of them. If you like your mattress, get the Pod Pro cover. That's what I have. They were willing to send me a full mattress. I didn't want that. I think most people are going to go for the Pod Pro cover. And I would appreciate, just use the code for $100 off. Phenomenal product. The second product that I love this year are my Normatec boots. I'm going to use them after I'm done recording this podcast to sit, hopefully watch some Olympic coverage, and 30 minutes, sometimes that's not enough. Everything I've done a review on, so if you have any more questions about it, go check that review before you reach out to me. And if not, anything I'm talking about, more than happy to answer if I can. See the message, have the time, yada, yada, yada. But I just sit there. Like, I work my legs, running, lifting, everything. They're the most worked part of my body, for sure. So having those things every single day is incredible. Now, I need to go get an actual massage soon. I got this deadlift off. Oh, yeah, deadlift off for charity. Details on my Instagram. And I posted on YouTube. Would appreciate any support you have. There is a Whoop giveaway for that. Go check out the details. But yeah, it's just, I got the deadlift off, so I need to work out these muscles. They get a lot knotted, but my legs feel way better than my upper back, for sure. The third one is the Nerve Run insoles are awesome. Hopefully you're listening to this. I think they are currently, Best Buy is currently running a special. Their Black Friday in July, $99. They're normally like $300 devices. I don't know what markup or what's happening, why they're $99, but get your damn hands on them. If you're a runner, if you care about your form in any way, this is the time to buy them. I can't, like, it's super fascinating to see that. I always thought I was a neutral runner, but it's showing me how much I pronate, how to fix it, suggestions to fix it. So I'm taking steps in that direction. Where my strike is, I'm trying to transition from a heel striker to more of a midfoot striker, just to relieve some pain on my joints. A history of knee problems, not dealing with that so much anymore. But this is what I'm using. And everything's definitive because it's a pressure sense, rather than when you get cadence and some of those metrics on your Apple Watch or Garmin or whatever, where it's using accelerometer and it's making assumptions based on movement of what you're doing as you're running. So the Nerve Smart insoles is a more accurate and better indication of those things, plus all this huge variety of other stuff that you didn't know was important. So those were 3 products that I know. There's other stuff that I keep using every single day, like my everyday use, of course, Whoop Strap, Theragun. The Haven gym bag, the Haven Athletic gym bag. Excuse me. Years and years looking for the best gym bag that is out there. And I had a specific thought, and I say this in the video, of in my head what I want. Not necessarily know the design of the bag, but like this is what I want. And I posted online on my Instagram asking people, give me gym bag suggestions. And then there was Haven Athletic, brand new company. I think it's ran by like a couple brothers, Caleb and Jacob Olfers. I think I'm hopefully saying that right. And they made it. They made the best gym bag. I love that thing. I get asked about it. It's like walking around with a mobile locker. I want to be able to see my stuff. I want it well organized. I want to be able to keep everything. I don't want a limitation in a room. And I want it to be in a form factor that's easy to carry. And they nailed everything across the board. The only 2 things that I say in my video they don't have, one's a stupid thing. It's just only my thing. I love customizing bags. I love customizing anything I own with stickers or patches. Velcro strip. I can just take Gorilla Glue, get some Velcro, put it on the front, and customize it myself. That's not a problem. But the other one was backpack straps. Would be super nice to have. People reach out to me and they're like, hey, I would like to use this as my travel bag. And that's a great idea. I could even use it as a camera bag. But if I'm going to be taking it longer distances, if I'm going to be taking it through an airport, I would love backpack straps. But besides that, it is the perfect bag. Like, what gym bag should I get? The Haven Athletic bag. Cannot recommend enough. Got the ventilation, got the partitions. They nailed it, and they crushed it. Again, watch the review. So there's 4. Those are 4 products. It's 8 Sleep, Nerve Run Smart insoles, Norm Tech boots, and Haven Athletic that I've been recently introduced to. Best shoes so far, Metcon 7s. You can add that to the list of things that I'm super pleased with this year in reviewing. I did like the Nano X's. Those were like, if people ask me what shoe I should get, I would say 100% the Nano X's for a variety of reasons. It was good to run in, had good stability. Everything's good enough with a CrossFit shoe. It doesn't do anything like perfect because it can't. Like it's like us. It's like what CrossFit builds us into. Like, we're not the most powerful power lifters because we can't be, because we got to run. Like, sometimes there's distance running. Sometimes there's gymnastics, so you can't be too heavy. But then you can't be too light because then you can't lift a lot of weight. So it's a balance, and that's what these CrossFit shoes try to achieve. It's a mirror image of who you are. I actually just thought about that right now. And I want to make sure that that is my thought. So... and I think it's a valid thought. So none of these shoes do everything perfect. They don't excel at powerlifting. They don't excel at Olympic lifting. They're not long distance running shoes. Nano X was the closest recently that came out. Reebok ruined the X1. I think Reebok's done. They're being sold off. No CrossFit partnership has ended. They're being sold off by Reebok. I just don't see if Reebok didn't find it lucrative enough to continue their relationship with the CrossFit Games, why would the person buying them do it as well? So you're going to have Noble, you're going to have Nike Metcon. And unfortunately for Noble, who makes a fine product, like their shoes, I'll still utilize their shoes, just a different style in terms of functionality and look. But the Metcon 7, they killed it. If it's true what I read on the Morning Chalk Up article about the Nike Research Design Lab taking 2 years to develop this, meaning that it started development prior to the Metcon 5, excuse me, well worth it. Well worth it. It's the number one shoe. It's not, no question. I've already had people ask me, what shoe should I buy? Metcon 7. Watch the review. That's my breakdown. That's how I feel. And I'm very interested where they go from here. Would like mid or high tops. That's one thing that is personal to me. I like it. I like the high tops, or even like a small feel. Like the Reebok X Unknowns came out, and they have kind of this sock thing that came up above the ankle. I really like that style, and they feel good. Like it just not necessarily gives me the ankle support, but it tricks me into thinking there's ankle support. Other things I would change on it, I just don't currently know. Maybe a little wider. I do have wide feet. People complaining about the narrowness of Metcons. I wear a 4E. I think some people are just complaining too much. I think they just find discomfort in it some reason, other than the fact that it's the width of their foot. But I think it's a great shoe. Works for me, and I wear it every day. I actually may need to get another pair because I am going to beat the crap out of this one pair of how much I've been working out, how much I've been wearing them, and the sweat builds up no matter what kind of material you put in, unless it's going to be that Nike Alpha Fly material that's not supposed to hold sweat and be durable. The sweat's just going to soak in, and it's going to deteriorate the shoe in a much faster way unless you can kind of rotate. So I think I have to get another pair. Poor me. I'll try to get a different like design, because I was thinking about just getting the same exact white shoe pair, because I think it's a sharp looking shoe. But they did come out with like the Games 7X version and then a special edition of the Ramaleos, and hopefully it comes out of the Tokyo edition Metcon 7. That's what I would like to see. Like maybe I'd buy one of those just to mix it up. And that's it. Those are like the 5 products that I wanted to get into that I'm super excited about incorporating into my daily regimen, and that I would recommend for anybody. Like if it fits your goals, the 8 Sleep is so great. So wrap this up. Just want to say I've mentioned the affiliation with certain companies, at least the 8 Sleep 2 or 3 times in this podcast episode, but they're not sponsors of the podcast. But it does help me. It does help support the channel and allow it to grow and give me more time to give you better content and invest in the channel. So if you want to buy these products anyway, whether it's the 8 Sleep, everything in the links will be in the show notes or the description of the YouTube channel. The 8 Sleep, CBDMD, which I think is the best CBD on the market, First Form supplements. There are a ton of supplement companies out there. A lot of personal reasons why I'm using First Form mainly. Love the transparency. I love the quality of the products. I have a lot of faith in what they're putting in their stuff. I think it's safe, high quality, and it's just one of the top supplement companies out there. Andy Frisella is kicking ass in terms of how he treats his employees, how he builds a product. So I've affiliated myself. And I got to say about the First Form affiliation, I've had other supplement companies reach out to me and say, hey, they would provide me free supplements to promote their product. Nope, didn't do it. I had to chase down First Form to do their affiliation, because I was like, well, if people are going to ask me what I use, here's a great relationship of where I can recommend it, and I love their products. I've been using it since they came out in like 2009. When I was a college athlete still, and I was afraid to get pops for anything, because like I think at the instant of NO Explode, there was some stuff in there that some athletes were getting drug tested, like popping up just because what the hell is in their product. So when First Form did that, I actually introduced supplements back into my body and had 100% faith that it was fine. Also, Whoop. If you're not on Whoop and you're listening to this, I don't know what you're doing with your life. I understand the subscription sucks. $30 off with my link to join and test it out. And again, deadlift off for charity. If you are interested, you can donate according to the rules and have a chance to win a 6-month membership. There's two chances to win. And that's it. Appreciate you listening and excited on the thermogenesis. So by the time there's the next episode, hopefully there's 2 episodes out. I've been kicking ass, getting content out, quality reviews, in my opinion, hopefully, but everything's going to keep improving. I mean, as far as improving, look, I actually started my podcast setup if you're watching, and I got this sick boom arm going on right here. And eventually, I don't want to show it too much again because I'm wearing shorts. Guests are coming. You can see my legs in there. Apologize for that shot. Just as stupid thing. I've always wondered, like, why is everybody always wearing pants when they have like a setup like this? Well, now you know, because your legs are in the shot and you get like kind of an upshot. So I'll work on camera angles, but I'm still gonna wear shorts because I love it. Anyway, that about wraps up me rambling on. I will see you in the next one.